starting out with the hair. And I want to just get everything on the canvas before I start articulating details. I'm going to be focusing primarily on bone structure. A bigger brush allows you to cover more of the painting surface. I'm being a bit scattered, which is good for paintings. It's important to focus on the overall essence rather than the little details, which is extremely counterintuitive for us artists and painters specifically. Okay, let's just try to stay focused, even though it's hard. It's hard not to want to go in and just paint every little detail, but you'll realize that in painting the details, you'll neglect the whole of the painting. So while the details are so important, you kind of have to wait until towards the end of the painting, or at least build up the details. Build the details up. I would tell you who I'm painting, but I kind of want you to guess as I'm going. I feel like it's more fun that way, especially because my paintings take a while to complete, so that's a long time to guess. But at some point, you'll start to see who it is, probably. Sometimes it's nice to just focus on the brush strokes, whether it's the sound of the brush strokes, the shapes, the color. The brush strokes are therapeutic. Can you hear my washer? My washing machine? Actually, I think it's my dishwasher right now. I thought it was done with its cycle, but I guess I'm incorrect. Okay. So I'm gonna use small brush strokes. Even though I have a big brush, it's kind of forcing me to slow down a little bit. Maybe I should. This is a good time to use a small brush. So even though this is a small brush, it's not as small as I might be tempted to use. So I recommend in the beginning phases, even if you're working on smaller features of the face, smaller aspects of the painting, to use a slightly bigger brush than you might think you need, because that's going to force you to use bigger brush marks, which is beneficial. I know in life everything is very linear and like, oh, do this way, do that way, but in painting, it's not linear. It's very circular. You work on everything at once, and that's the beauty of it. the things that are in my control, even though it's so hard. I think it's actually tempting to focus on the things that are outside of your control. The more you care about something, the more it might affect your ego, the more you want to focus on it, or the more it just affects you personally. But it's draining. You can't control what you can't control. You can take feedback from everything around you and try to kind of navigate. You can do all you can do. I think learning from your past mistakes, or just learning from the past in all regards, whether it's positive or negative, or perceived as positive or negative, I suppose, because some things are just, I guess, positive or negative, but some things are just neutral, and we perceive it as negative because it's emotionally uncomfortable. Like, what if I did her? What if I did Frida Kahlo next? It's kind of a different version, because a lot of our portraits that we think of Frida Kahlo are done by Frida Kahlo, but I would love to do a realistic painting of Frida Kahlo herself. But we're not talking about that right now. I do have a really horrible habit, guys. It's awful. Anytime I'm engrossed in something, I immediately start thinking about something else. And I get extremely distracted by all the different things I could do. It's not a dissatisfaction per se with what I'm currently working on, but it's almost like it's remaining slightly detached from your current piece by realizing theirs and reminding yourself of all of the other things that you can be working on. And being slightly detached from literally anything is weirdly kind of good energetically. I mean, you don't want to be too detached to the point that you're like not sensitive or anything, but you want to be detached from the results, and you want to be detached from everything outside of your control. So whether or not this sells, whether or not people like it, blah 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 blah. And I find it hard sometimes, even in the social media space, to let go of my own expectations of how well I should be doing, and it's really kind of unhealthy. I mean, there's so many wonderful things about social media and the fact that it allows discoverability and connection and all that, but it's really, really hard because there's just naturally going to be times where it's not maybe meeting your expectations or growing, or maybe people are misunderstanding your message or your content, and that's always hard. And it's the same thing with painting. Like, anytime you put yourself out there, whether in any capacity creatively, you have to be prepared for people to totally misunderstand the entire thing. And so she's got a little bit of a sassy look on her face. I think a lot of true artists are not cut out for fame. I don't think I am even really cut out for it. I feel like I'm more of a person who likes to be by myself. And I have a hard time trying to like live up to other people's expectations. But in the world of social media, I think that it's nice because she was somebody who was not cut out for fame in any way, really, other than the fact that we all love her. So in that capacity, I suppose she was, but in just her own personal mental health journey. But you know, it's so easy to look at someone, and especially from another era, like Amy Winehouse, even though she's relatively recent, she was a different era. You know, people weren't talking about mental health. They didn't see addiction as like a mental health issue, and they definitely didn't. There weren't the same standards of treating women properly, especially in the media. So we have no idea what she went through behind the scenes, really. But they definitely exploited her beyond what she wanted. Her dad did. You know, I don't know if you've seen the documentary. I like documentaries a lot. I watch documentaries a lot. I feel like that they're informative, even though sometimes they are a little bit, you know, skewed, I'm sure, to fit a storyline. At least it gives us a chance to see another perspective, at the very, very least. So her eye looks a little bit fucked up, but that's okay. We're gonna fix it. All of the mistakes will eventually disappear like magic. But yeah, I got this dress at a vending event. I love finding Y2K, kind of early 2000s dresses. This one is a beauty, isn't it? I think I'll hang on to it. I love a nice cut, you know. It's got a nice shape when I stand up. That's like, I can maybe try to show you later. It's, you know, got nice movement, very feminine. I think one of the misunderstandings about painting is that, oh, you have to reiterate what you've already done. Just keep painting over what you've already painted, but you really, it's important to know that your painting will evolve as you work on it. That's the whole point of painting it, is letting it evolve. I am offering prints on my website, and I'm going to be offering paintings very soon as well, for those of you who like buying paintings. I enjoy doing pretty traditional representations of people, not adding too much craziness. But we'll see if I decide to add a little neon moment somewhere, maybe like make it black and white and then add a little neon. I think that could be really, really cool, guys. Like, I'm kind of low-key excited about that idea. But the thing is I need to really develop it as far as I can. I think black and white before I go in and add it. And I can also maybe work on, I can take a picture of it, maybe play around with it in Photoshop, see if I had an iPad. That would be way easier. I've talked about wanting to get an iPad, but I don't know if I'm gonna get one for a while. I'm trying not to spend all of my money. It's very hard not to, because there's so many things out there. I don't know if you ever feel that way. I'm gonna work a little bit on her tattoos, even though they're intimidating. I have considered trying to be a tattoo artist, but easy, and it's not always fun either. I feel like that it's something that I can continue to do and be pretty happy. But I mean, honestly, so far this tattoo looks horrible. It's probably good that you can't see it that close. It'll look good eventually, though. That's the thing. I'm okay with acknowledging that it looks bad because I'm just realistic with myself, and I know how to fix it. I just have to give myself the chance to, because art takes time. It doesn't just happen. Especially paintings, you have to be very patient with the process. And often there's very little immediate reward. You know, I mean, the best thing you can do as a painter is just, when you finish a painting, is that to have someone look at it, even just one person, whoever's in your house at that moment. I know whenever I finish a painting, I'm always like, hey, look, Mom, Dad, you know, whoever it is. But I have several projects, painting projects specifically, that are kind of half-baked. And I don't know, I think that's okay. I mean, it's technically good to work on multiple paintings at once, so. Yeah, all of these little tattoos that I'm drawing look like zombies, but I don't want to hyper focus on the details at the moment, and I would consider the tattoo a detail. But yeah, I think one of the reasons I don't want to be a tattoo artist is because it's not in my nature to want to hurt anybody. I want to do the opposite. I want to make them feel good, and arguably tattooing people does make them feel good, and you know, I don't think it's wrong, but like, it would make me sad to physically bring pain to somebody. Like, I don't think I could mentally get through it. I'm a little baby dweeb, so don't make fun of me. I already know I'm a dweeb. It is nice to think about different things while you're painting. You know, like, rather than just hyper focusing on everything that has to do with Amy Winehouse, it's good to focus on other things as you're working on it, and, or even, like, it's also not necessarily productive to focus too much on the exact brush marks that you're making. Strangely, it's more good to focus on like the light and the shapes rather than what it is that you're painting. If you focus too much on what it is that you're painting, then you'll start, it's weird, it's almost like it's stifling, and you start outlining things rather than going in and really painting. And honestly, I find myself outlining and doing kind of amateurish stuff a lot. It's like, that's why you have to be aware of it, so you can kind of break yourself out of it as you acknowledge, like, oh, maybe I'm falling back into this pattern of doing want to switch it up. And I like to try new things. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I mean, I think because I get bored, or I guess it's just life, you know. I'll switch up my hair. I'll do all kinds of things. I guess variety is the spice of life. What do you think? I feel like a lot of times people look to, well, I mean, okay, so I'll tell you for myself, which we all have different experiences, and a lot of how our life goes is a combination of many different things. But what I will say, what most people have in common in their life is hardship and tragedy of some sort. Now, I'm not trying to be all depressing. I'm just trying to say most of us can relate to sadness and whatever, childhood pain, you know, whether it's on a large scale or not. Any type of pain as a kid can stay with you forever. And so I think the people who really move past their pain and who are able to heal are people who are able to forgive. Even though when you forgive someone in your heart, a lot of times it feels like the weaker option. But forgiveness really just frees you. I feel like forgiveness can cause the body to truly malfunction. We'll just say that. And it can energetically get trapped in your cells. And the people who are able to find forgiveness are able to find a happier, healthier life in general, because we all get hurt, and none of us deserve really what we go through. But some people, they're able to find a better life by letting go. And that doesn't mean you maintain a relationship with that person. That doesn't mean what they did is right. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt anymore, because it still does. It just means that you are not going to let that rule you anymore. And you're just not going to let that thing in the past affect you as much as possible. And you're going to just, you know, let go. Truly, that's what it is. And I think in that, you can receive the good things that life has to offer. But, you know, sometimes there's pain in our life that there's really nobody that is at fault. There's really no one you can blame it on. There's really no one you can forgive either. So it's like, what do? You just kind of have to, honestly, I don't know. When you figure it out, let me know. But I was gonna say, you just have to forgive life. You have to forgive God, the universe, for doing you wrong, even if there's not a person. Like, sometimes I look at these circumstances outside of my control that are within my immediate circle, and they cause me pain, whatever. But they're there's nobody I can really blame for it. It just is life. And that's when I just have to forgive life for failing my expectations or for doing me wrong. But I have to also trust that there is a higher power at work or a higher purpose. You know, that's why I love movies and TV, because I can watch something that brings me into a good mood. I can watch something that brings me into a bad mood too, I guess. I mean, sometimes the, like, scary movies and whatnot, like, it can be strangely validating to watch something like that if you're not feeling good. Now, my mom, she has to only watch positive stuff, especially if she's going through something negative. But, like, essentially she wants to only watch things that have, like, a silver lining, because life is already too hard, and I kind of get that. But as an artist, I understand needing to exert negative emotions, thoughts, ideas, dreams into something creative, like a movie. Otherwise, it just kind of sits inside of you and becomes a very real darkness. And I think that that's what creativity is for the true artists in life. It's literally their way of kind of processing darkness. And I guess it's not true for every artist, but I even find myself feeling bad for having kind of dark thoughts, I suppose. But it comes with the territory. I mean, I'm on the spectrum. I have ADHD and I have trauma. So with all of those combined, I mean, you're gonna have, like, dark negative thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But being an artist is a way to put that into something productive and meaningful. And so I look at dark art as a part of human existence. I think it's important to create art that's dark, because it's important for the artist to acknowledge what they feel inside, and also to get it out in a positive and productive way. This is a really deep topic, but we're painting Amy Winehouse. She's a deep person. She was a deep person. Her legacy is deep. I think the message we can kind of derive from her message, or the message I can kind of take from her story, is the importance of mental health and all of that. Honestly, painting her tattoos will be almost as intricate as painting her face. I just feel that. I think I might use a smaller brush here pretty soon. Not sure how long this painting will take me. It seems like it's coming along fairly quickly, but we'll see. So, she has a tattoo there too. I want to make sure I make this one really delicate, because the line work in this one is pretty delicate. I'll figure it out. a lot of artists might even enjoy drawing tattoos, but if you know me as a painter, you know I don't like doing little tiny details. I mean, I don't mind drawing tiny details in a face, but the details like line work, things like that, handwriting type of stuff, like this is writing. Thankfully there's not a lot, but that kind of thing is not my favorite. It just feels, maybe it's because it's small motor skills type of thing. I can't do it. It doesn't feel as good to me as doing the larger, more energetic brush strokes. But we'll make it work. That's for sure. Like right now, I'm not totally sure where everything goes, per se, but I'll figure it out. My eye itches. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this one. It has attitude. Some of the other ones had attitude as well, but they were closer up shots, even though I didn't love the idea of having to draw all of the little tattoos. The tattoos do bring personality to the image and to her in general, so it's not like I don't like it. It's just like my personal opinion. Whenever I'm drawing, painting things, I enjoy larger brush strokes. It's just a preference. But I'll get it done. It does seem to be coming along relatively nicely at this point. I mean, black and white is low-key easier to paint, in my opinion, okay, than color paintings. You have less to work with, for sure. Like, there's not as many options in a black and white color scale, whereas if you are painting with color, there's just so many different things you have to consider. You have to consider the saturation, the intensity, the opaqueness, the color value, the color scheme in general. There's a lot of things. blanket her a little. She has a Monroe too. Okay. Maybe I can work on. Actually, I do want to work on her tattoos a little because they're blaringly obviously bad right now at this phase. So I want them to at least be somewhat okay. You know what I mean? To look at. I posted a new YouTube video, which I recorded yesterday, and I just kind of whipped it out. My painting videos are the ones that take a long time to make. The other ones are usually pretty chill. So I'm just gonna cover up that face. I guess I need to make her tattoos skin tone the same skin tone as her skin tone because it's her skin. But I also have to make it like draw the drawing, you know, as if I was tattooing her. But thankfully they're relatively simple. I mean, they're not like anyone could do it type of thing. They look really good, but they're more scattered, you know, than maybe some tattoos, which is good because it's easier for me than doing a full sleeve or something. I mean, it's almost a sleeve, but not quite. Definitely needs to be a shine in there. I'm really ready for the summer. I want to go swimming in the ocean. It's hard for me to stay physically active when it's so cold outside, you know, because I don't want to do anything. I'm definitely lazier whenever it's cold. But yeah, I'm ready for some sunshine. It's kind of dark outside today. It's okay though. I mean, I will say it does affect me whether or not it's sunny. But I have always lived in states where there was more cold weather than warm weather. Except for whenever I was in Oklahoma. We have really hot summers in Oklahoma. I used to live in Oklahoma. But, you know, after that, I lived in states where it's just really cold most of the time. So, it is what it is. I layer up, like if I were to go out tonight and if I wanted to wear this dress, if I was going to leave my house, I'd have to layer it up. Put some tights with it, that type of thing. I've learned the beauty and the art of layering, living in cold states and living in Germany. Because other seasons there, but I mean, there were technically other seasons, but it's definitely cold. It's more north. So. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Maybe. I find myself wanting to sit on my hands. I like deep pressure. That's also an autistic thing. Deep pressure. Deep, long hugs. But I need to get a, what are those blankets? The weighted blankets. I just haven't yet. I'm gonna work on painting around the tattoo for a little bit. There's another tattoo down there that I might need to focus on as well. I'm very much of a refine as I go type of painter. I get it on there and then I refine it, refine it, refine it. It's hard to not stifle yourself by being a perfectionist. I find myself overthinking, overanalyzing, that type of thing, but it's truly pointless to do so. I mean, I suppose at some point, I suppose it's good to analyze, but at some point you just have to stop analyzing. Like, some people don't analyze at all, and they're not logical, which I don't understand, because I'm a very logical-based person. I think of things logically. I don't think that there's much luck in life. I do believe in luck to a certain degree, but I feel like that there's also a logical reason why some things happen and some things don't happen for people. And yeah, luck is kind of like, you know, the cards that you're given. You know, nobody chose to be born, much less chose where they were born or what circumstances they were born in. I mean, a lot of that's just luck or lack thereof, you know. But beyond that, there are some people who have similar circumstances, and one person will do well and another person won't. Usually I think that there's a logical reason as to why, for instance. So I definitely I think some people they're too simple with their answers. Oh, well, so-and-so is successful because so-and-so is attractive, or so-and-so is successful because their parents have money, or so-and-so is successful because, or so-and-so is this or that because of this or that. And I don't know, I think it's more complex. I think that there are a sequence of events that cause things, and if you were to break it down, there would actually be a logical reason. more sometimes complex than the simple reasons that we just settle on. But honestly, it's none of our business most of the time why other people are successful or not, but you can learn from it, you know. But again, some people, they go, well, that person was just lucky, right place, right time. But okay, this looks really weird. I have no idea what's going on. I honestly need a different brush for this portion of the painting, but whatever. Focusing on some of the flyaways on her hair. It's so funny, I totally forgot about this dress until I was looking through my closet this morning, and I was like, surely I have a nice dress in here somewhere that I would feel cute in. And lo and behold, I found this one. I've only worn it maybe twice. Squinting my eyes, I feel like it's a little bit fuller in there. Squinting, that helps me get a better perspective of the image as a whole. Her hair is crazy. It's kind of a marketing strategy, I think, for women to distinguish themselves through their hair, because like there's so many people out there that one of the best things you can do is distinguish yourself somehow. Just make yourself memorable somehow. And one of the easier ways for someone to do that is with their hair. So one of the reasons why I like having short hair, because I go into a room and I'm usually the only woman in the room, say below the age of 50, with short hair. But these days, women who are older tend to have long hair, and they could look like they're in their late 20s, early 30s. But I have noticed that most girlies in everyday life just have long hair, so that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut my hair short, because one, it's cute, and two, it's different, you know what I'm saying? And it's easier. I mean, styling my hair today was really a lot easier than, here's the thing, is I'm still kind of learning how to style it short. So I have had good days and bad days with my hair, and I even look at some of my recordings and I'm like, okay, that was a bad hair day. But I'm definitely learning how to style it, and I feel like I've gotten better at it. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things when you change your hairstyle. You have to figure out how to make it look right with your as I do more paintings, I kind of learn more and more with every painting what actually looks good on a canvas and on the wall. I mean, some people don't care about what looks good on the wall or on the canvas because, and I wouldn't say it's even specific to the person or the artist. I think it might even have to do with each individual art piece, because I have some pieces where I'm like, I don't give a fuck if it looks good or not. It's just my expression of self, you know. But with portraiture, things like that, I really want it to just look nice when it's hanging. And even abstract paintings, some of them just look really good on the wall, which is why they work. They somehow just make the wall look better. And it's not even about the painting per se, it's more about how it enhances the entire space. Which isn't in turn about the painting, but it's more about the space in general. And how that painting kind of ties the space that it's in together from a design standpoint. And something about how this is centered with her position and the white behind her, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. I'm here for it. There's something kind of freeing also about abandoning a painting project, because when you're working on a painting project, a lot of times you just feel like you're stuck to it, like you have to finish it. But sometimes it's nice to just be like, okay, maybe I'll finish this at some point, but for now I'm gonna work on something else and feel better about myself, you know? Because sometimes a painting project can kind of be a bit draining. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to buy more white paint probably before this painting is done. I mean, maybe not, we'll see. Usually Amazon can do next day shipping. Start and stop point to things, you know, visually, even though we kind of want it there to be, usually there isn't. shoot. Oops, I'm kind of mixing. I keep finding myself mixing the wrong shade. That's okay. While I have this weird gray on my brush, I'll just find the places on my canvas that need it and I'll just put it there. No, take it away. Okay, better. Kind of. Okay. That was a close one, guys. Maybe in here needs to be a bit more highlighted, just in general. I am strangely surprised at how quickly this painting is coming along. I don't know, some paintings just take so much more effort. I don't know why. It can be strangely hard to predict which ones will come out quickly and which ones won't. Okay, this arm definitely needs work. It feels like it's a little tiny twig. Oh gosh, I have to paint the freaking tattoos now on this side. And then I'll have to paint them again, like work on them on this side again, because they're not quite right. This might take me forever to finish, but I need my small brush, like an actual small brush. This is good. Honestly, I don't know. Never mind. I have no idea what I was going to say. I hear my dogs walking around. I might need to take them out soon. They miss me. But yeah, I don't have a very back screen, so what time is it? It's 4. I think I can get another hour in painting, probably. I'm gonna be right back, take the dogs out, and then I'll come back and work on this, because I just poured out more paint, which I'm just gonna do a little bit of white, and then I'm gonna take out my dogs, and then I'll come back. So I understand if you can't hang out and wait that whole time, but that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. But I'm gonna get to a stopping point first and use up some of this paint that I got out for myself. Probably too much. I mean, it is so kind of weird how this painting is coming along so fast. Hang on, let me take a little video clip of me adding some of this white paint. tension. Okay, yeah, I need to definitely add paint in the background because I think it's tempting to just use the white of the canvas as the white, but it's not gonna look right. I'm not trying to rhyme over here, but it's true. It's just not gonna look correct if you do that. And then not to mention all of the like hairs flying away. They need to be connected to the space around it. I need to kind of cut into her hair with the white and then paint back over it with black because then there's a lot of yellow showing through into the negative space, which I'm trying to cover up. I don't necessarily want there to be yellow, but I think that that's just evidence that I need to paint kind of in between things because the yellow is the outline technically, so that just shows me that I need to kind of connect everything and not kind of paint everything so separately. I need to paint the actual outline. I mean, with paintings, for parts of it, it's really important to get it kind of exact, and then for parts of it, it's more important to just kind of capture the essence. I feel like that the hairs, it's more important to just kind of capture the essence rather than getting the exact hairs in the exact spot for the most part. I mean, there's a few places where it might be more important than others, but that's just my painting style, I suppose. Oh, shoot. Adding this thick paint. Actually, I'm just going to paint over some of the hairs, and then I'll push back onto that layer with my black paint, and then that will give it the dimension I'm looking for. It's better to let your painting go out of control and then hone it back in. It's strange, but it's just true. If you kind of let it go a little crazy, and then reel it in, you're gonna likely have a more complex, dynamic, intriguing painting that way, rather than just kind of keeping it super safe the entire way through. That's just based off of my personal experience. Squinting my eyes so I can really try to see the overall gist of everything rather than hyper focusing on the small things. Like, I don't know, something isn't quite right in here. It's a lot of things not right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. always have rags on hand, because you need rags. From rags to riches, honey. But yeah, I mean, I can't paint without rags. You have to wipe things and, you know, do the whole bit. I should make that more purpley instead of blue. The bluer it is, the darker it feels. And I want it to be the right amount of darkness and the right spots. When you're integrating things into your painting that is maybe a little more risky in your mind, just know that, I guess what I would say is take your time with it. Like, it might not come together right away. But you can go back to it and keep working on it, and you can always go backwards too, in a way. Like, I suppose there's a point of no return, but really that's just a limiting belief, because you can always paint over your painting. You can even sand it down, and even if you like erase a hole through your paper, you can always collage over it or behind it. I mean, the more wear and tear there is behind an art piece, the better it is, in my opinion. So I did notice earlier that some of the lighting wasn't quite right in her forehead, so I am going to take a minute and address that for a second with my black and white colors. I've been watching Love is Blind. Don't give it away for me, because I'm only on like, they've all just proposed to each other, so really one of the only reasons I watch it is because I'll see like a video of it on TikTok or whatever, which, yeah, I'm ashamed that I'm on TikTok, but I don't know, I guess I'm just bored with my life sometimes and I just mindlessly scroll. But anyway, I've seen like the drama about Chelsea saying she looks like Megan Fox, and then like he sees her and he's like, you don't look like Megan Fox, but she, in her defense, she was like, don't get excited, I don't see it, but like, I don't know. Whenever I heard that, I was like, okay, I have to watch this and see what's going on. I mean, this is juicy and makes me feel a lot better about my life. But it's kind of sad, because like ultimately we all want the same thing at the end of the day, which is love, right? We all want it, and we all deserve it. Well, I would say most of us do. I really don't know if everyone does. I mean, I think it's not about deserving. I think anyone can benefit from love, because even if you don't deserve love, if you receive love, it will change you. Like, you can, like, love can move mountains, even if it's platonic. I mean, I don't know what the big obsession is about sexual love. I mean, I think it makes sense to a certain degree because it's primal, but I don't know. I wonder if I should put a little bit in here. I don't want it to change the look of her face. Hang on. so it doesn't necessarily look like she has pink highlights. Like, add some other colors in there. I mean, that's a bit much, I'm not gonna lie. It needs to be toned down for sure. That's better. It needs to be like where it's not pulling your eye too much. Like it's there and you notice it, but it's not like distracting. Maybe I could do, I don't know if I want to do that here. I want to kind of keep it on this side for whatever reason. I feel like it just makes more sense when it's kind of all happening on the same side. You might see me squinting. I don't know how much you can see from where you were at, but squinting definitely helps when just trying to get an accurate perception of the lights and the darks and the detail and where to put detail, where not to put detail. I definitely think there needs to be a color that kind of comes up the side. I'm thinking it needs to be purple or let's try purple and then I can expand it from there. It's super, super subtle, which I like. super photorealistic. I just want it to be lifelike. I feel like there's a bit of a difference. Like, lifelike means it's believable. It feels like it's drawn from reality. But like photorealism is, it takes itself extremely seriously. A little too seriously for my taste. I want to do another little yellow moment over here that might feel slightly out of place in a good way. We'll see. Maybe more, like, I feel like maybe it just needs more of what it is that I'm doing. Like, I need to commit a little bit more. I mean, in here it feels really bright. Like, I feel like my eye is drawn to that area maybe too much. Tone it down just a bit. Down here, might be a little darker. It needs to be like darker and lighter. Part of it needs to be darker and another part needs to be lighter. Sometimes you find yourself like having a hard time controlling the paint. That's always annoying. It happens to me quite a bit. Where I'm just like, where's the paint going? What am I doing? so like finishing the end of a book. It's bittersweet and you almost can't believe it, and you're kind of sad, but you're happy. I might be there. Oh Lord Jesus. It depends on how much I accidentally keep messing it up as I go. Because I am kind of hyper obsessive about it, so I might come back to it and then accidentally mess it up and have to fix it again. Let me flip it. That's usually how I can tell what's really going on with a little flippy flip. And usually by the end of the painting I'm like, wow, did I really do that? Did I actually just paint that entire thing? What the heck? That feeling is good, I will say. It's a good feeling. But you see, just this curve isn't quite right, and I wish I could stay longer, but I have to go. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It's so pretty. I love the little colors. The tattoos were a pain in the butt, but I figured it out. I wanted it to be primarily black and white with a little bit of color, and I think that I achieved the integration nicely, so. Okay. Anyways, thanks for being here. I can't thank you enough for just being in my corner and supporting me and watching me paint this. I hope that it was relaxing for you. And yeah, there might be a chance that I'll work on this a little more. We'll see. But it's pretty much done. So I will be offering prints and the final original painting on my website, scaryfairyfromsalem.com, and also you can follow my Instagram, actual.laurel, to keep up with all of my paintings. And I'll be posting the reel though on Scary Fairy from Salem Instagram.